Welcome to the Stray Dog Film Lounge, where three stray dogs have bonded over our love of movies.
I'm Colin.
My name's Ross.
And I'm Ian. And today we're talking about the two film adaptations of the Super Mario Bros. Video games.
So, first we are going to talk about the 1993 movie, that godforsaken film that for some reason is getting a cultural re-evaluation on Letterboxd.
Yes. So let's go. Okay. Can I try to explain what the movie's about?
Please. This is a log line that I can't come up with.
Okay. So, the Super Mario Brothers movie,
1993.
from 1993, is about two plumbers, Mario and Luigi, who get sucked into an alternate dimension where dinosaurs were not killed by a meteorite, and now humans are evolved from reptiles as opposed to from primates, but they look like humans. And while they're there, they gotta save Princess Daisy, who's also from Brooklyn, from King Koopa, played by Dennis Hopper in his prime.
The director of Easy Rider. I love that the director of Easy Rider, like the cultural landmark film of the 60s, plays King Koopa in Super Mario Bros. And truth be told, he seems like he's having a good time.
I mean, I think of Dennis Hopper as, more than anything, I think of Dennis Hopper as Frank from Blue Velvet.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, there's so many lines in the movie that just feel like Frank lines. Like, you know what I love about mud? It's dirty and clean at the same time. Like, hey, Ian, I feel like you were once the most ride or die for this movie, right?
I was. I'm rewatching it again.
Can I give a preamble to Ian's evaluation of this movie?
No preambles. Talk, Ian.
Colin, stop.
Go.
So,
Go ahead.
basically, I had seen the movie years ago, and I thought it was hilarious. It's so bad it's good. And I had fun with it. If it was like on HBO or Showtime, I'd be like, why not? The Super Mario Brothers movie or whatever. So, but now looking at it, Colin had come over my place, and we had gone to Yestercase to play some Super Mario Brothers video games, which, Colin tried.
Yeah, I tried my best. I gave it the old college try. I don't have Atari fingers.
What? Wait, Atari fingers?
Nintendo figures. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, it was on Nintendo, not on Atari. Keep on going.
Rewatching it again, I thought it was terrible. It was complete and utter trash that, again, although trash, was a riot. It was so dumb, but it was such a fun time at this while watching it too. There was just like the opening of the movie when they talk about what happened to the dinosaurs. It's Brooklyn 65 million years ago, so there weren't a lot of people back then. And so then when the fucking meteorite...
Yeah. And then like all this whole weird thing, and then it just shows the title, Super Mario Brothers, the movie, and you're like, what?
That has
what? What did it... What?
It was one of the weirdest fucking things, and I heard so much of a cult following that I looked it up. There's a website. There's a bunch of people who like it. I have not read any of the Letterboxd reviews. I don't want to if they're saying this is some masterpiece from something years ago.
Yeah, they're saying that it's misunderstood and underappreciated. I don't really know how serious they are in this evaluation. They may just be memeing out like they do with reviews of the movie Cars. But
yeah, I think it comes down to like contrarianism, really.
They're trying to say that this is a Marxist film that talks about the rise of fascism and so on and so forth.
Yes, but it's super basic. Like-
exactly.
I like because it's basically like a weird 90s fever dream that of like, oh, let's do Mario, but instead let's do Blade Runner, like, or something,
Kind
but with
of,
dinosaur,
yeah.
but with dinosaurs for some reason.
It would have been cool if it was the actual Mushroom Kingdom, but instead it's Dino Hatton.
Well, no, well, okay, so the dinosaur thing is because Super Mario World was a thing and there's dinosaurs in that. That takes place on Dinosaur Island, right?
That was Super Mario World 2. Yeah, Super Mario World 2, that's when the dinosaurs came into play.
No, because isn't Yoshi?
Yoshi's in Super Mario World, but it's not.
The main
doesn't
world
take place.
of Mario? Isn't the mainland of Super Mario World like dinosaurs? Isn't that a thing?
I don't think so, unless I'm wrong.
You are wrong. Hi, Future Ross here with a fact check update. It says right here in the story section for the Super Mario World instruction manual, after saving the Mushroom Kingdom from Bowser and the rest of the Koopas in Super Mario 3, Mario and Luigi need to recuperate from their adventures. Together, they agree that the best place to vacation was a magical place called Dinosaur Land. Oh, take that, Ian. Ross 1, Ian 0.
But either way, point is that and this came out before Jurassic Park, so basically there wasn't there wasn't like, oh my god, dinosaurs are everywhere. It was that dinosaurs were a thing in the 90s, but it wasn't like huge until Jurassic came along. And then with this movie,
really surprises me because like I feel like this movie almost seems like something that's trying to replicate Jurassic Park to a certain degree.
No, it came out the week before Jurassic Park.
No,
That's
not
so
the week before
weird.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, what is it?
It was a couple weeks beforehand.
But it's based, you know what I mean.
Same
I know, but
basically.
still.
Ian is right about that. So now the score is tied. Ross 1, Ian 1.
Yeah, I don't know. The movie just, especially because we watched it on like a shitty DVD I got from Amazon.
That he bought for $4. Now,
Yeah.
folks, it has been said that I am a cheapskate, that I don't like spending money, and this is true. But nevertheless, no one should ever spend $4 whole on the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. He could have talked the person down.
I spent $8 on my copy that I found at FYE.
Why?
I found it at FYE. I was like, where else are you gonna find this? I guess I'll get it.
I just went on Amazon and searched it, and then it was just like, all right, here you go, Super Mario Brothers.
But yeah,
movie.
it's not even a good DVD because it's
it sucks.
It's that kind that like it's widescreen but within a 4:3 format.
Yeah.
So it's like you got bars on the top, bottom, and sides. So you gotta adjust your TV settings to make it properly fill the screen, and it just looks like ass. Like you can see the pixels.
Fellas, you need to learn the art of bargaining. Alright, if someone is trying to make you pay $8 or $4 for a movie this terrible, you gotta be able to stand your ground and say, the best I can give you for that is $2.
I was at an FYE. They're not gonna like let me.
It was on Amazon, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, I'm gonna call up customer service.
Anyway, I do want to talk about some good things in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bob Hoskins rules.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
him and Dennis Hopper were great.
And also I think my favorite thing about his portrayal as Mario is that this Mario fucks. Okay.
Yes.
He's got
This Mario has
Daniela.
a very attractive girlfriend.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, what was her name?
Daniela.
You know they're doing some freaky shit.
Yeah,
you
with
know?
some
Yeah.
mushrooms.
And then when he has to seduce Big Bertha, he's like into it,
Yeah.
right? And Big Bertha's into it too.
It's just so fucking
She's got a
weird.
thing for him, man. What I
Yeah.
love about this Mario 2 that the 23 version does as well is that Mario is a really good plumber as well.
Yeah.
Like this Mario could totally clean up my bathroom.
What do you guys think of John Leguizamo, who in his groundbreaking
He
role?
was terrible. He was terrible.
I
was
need to talk
awful.
about this. There's not a moment in the film where he's able to keep his lips together. Like
What?
he was so drunk on this set, and it's so clearly in the performance. Bob Hoskins was drunk too, but he was an old Englishman that could handle his liquor.
He's a professional.
Yes,
He's a professional
professional.
drunk.
That's something funny that I enjoyed is just the fact that the two of them are trashed through this whole thing, and you really can't tell. I mean, even with John Leguizamo,
No, you could totally tell with John.
he's someone
You could
that
totally tell
there are
with John.
moments when he's just sort of like, okay, yeah, I can get through this, but then it's like like you say, his mouth is wide open. It's
His
just
mouth
like
is wide open the entire fucking time. Like,
I assume that was an acting choice. Like, he's constantly in awe of what he's seeing. Like, whoa. Like,
well, he does a terrible fucking job with it.
yeah.
He should have taken some more fungus. Oh, that's another thing. It's not even mushrooms, it's fungus.
Trust the fungus,
Yeah.
Ian. You gotta trust the
Just
fungus.
the fungus. Like, hey, because there's a lot of meme shit in here that's great, but like, it's so fucking weird to see the Goombas. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I
What
don't know
Yeah, they're like,
where.
they like get devolved.
yeah, whoever designed those Goombas has a severe drug addiction. And not like LSD or like a drug that like enhances your imagination. Like, this is someone just with a distorted mind that has just taken way too many Percocets, and I hope he finds help.
I gotta kind of defend the aesthetics of this movie because, like, if you look at the world of Mario and you're like, okay, now adapt this for live action in a way that's not laughable, you kind of have to take some creative, because a Goomba, the way we know a Goomba, just does not work in
live action.
It makes no sense.
Well,
I mean, honestly, like, they just should have not made a live action adaptation of Mario. That makes no sense. But the fact that they were given that assignment and they're like, okay, well, there's turtles, there's Yoshi. Yoshi's a dinosaur. I guess we'll make it lizard people. I get, all right.
They absolutely nailed Yoshi, though.
Yeah, Yoshi was great. I love that animatronic.
That's an amazing animatronic.
That made me really want to buy a lizard. And I'm not really a lizard guy either, but that Yoshi was just so warm and welcoming. He seemed like such a good dude. I was like, I need to go out to Petco and buy myself a lizard. He's so cute.
Obviously, time has passed and it's not as great, but the visual effects, despite how they look now, they're still pretty creative. It's such a strange look of just like almost squishing somebody's face, moving it around, de-evolving them, and almost like when he de-evolves the Scapelli or like whatever the fuck the guy's name was, like a mobster.
Yeah, Scapelli.
Yeah, and Scapelli. When he turns him into a monkey, it was just like he just goes monkey. But also the way that they do it, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like it is interesting.
It's very 90s.
Yeah, it's 90s, but at the same time, it's like you
It's
don't
fun.
really see that. And again, the creative decisions, yes, were good, but I still say like it's just fucking weird to look at. Like it just doesn't make sense to me in terms of it.
The movie just kind of feels like Drek, like you're just kind of stuck in the mud getting through this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, ugh. Like, it's not very visually pleasing to look at.
And it's sexually charged for some reason for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, Mario's like sticking his face in that lady's titties
To get that rock,
that
to
necklace.
get that meteorite.
I mean, who wouldn't? But you know, honestly though, all the women in this kind of great. They're all hot in their own ways. You know, like Daisy's really cute.
What
you know?
really frustrates me is that there's some racism going on in this movie, and it's from Lena, who isn't even in the video game. I don't know why they put her in here. She's like Dennis King Koopa's wife. They named her Lena.
What's the racist thing?
So basically, she goes into the room of captives to see which one of them is the princess, because they're not telling. And so she looked at all of these beautiful Italian women from Brooklyn, and then she looks at the most waspy looking amongst them, the Princess Daisy, and she says, "You're the princess." So you're telling me that a beautiful Brooklynite Italian woman cannot be a princess? The waspy looking girl is the princess? This is ridiculous.
I don't think it's racist. I just think it's just like, hey, whatever.
It's racist. I will not have it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie, Colin. That's what we're doing right now. It's something where you just got to take it as a grain of salt of the fact that, like,
It is ridiculous.
I mean, I just kind of assumed it's like she's like the prettiest, you know.
But she
I didn't
wasn't
think of
the
it.
prettiest.
Daniela is the prettiest. man.
Daniela
Like,
is
damn.
so much more
No,
beautiful than Princess Daisy.
Daniela is sexy, but Daisy is pretty, if that makes sense. Like she's
Eh.
the most princessy looking,
Eh.
right?
I'll give her props for being a paleontologist.
Okay. Hey, did you notice how the Alan Silvestri score will like reference that like
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's
like that pizza
funny.
making song?
That's great.
Oh yeah.
That's part of the score. There's like, it's like Alan Silvestri was like, all right, I got to make a thing about Italian plumbers. I don't know.
But I do enjoy. I think the things I like, yeah, Bob Hoskins, Dennis Hopper, the production design for the most part, Yoshi,
Yoshi.
the weird ass visual effects, and I think the stupidest,
It's just
but
not a good adaptation.
it's not. It's not even like, here's something really weird. It started out in the 80s and it was supposed to be a hard R prequel to Mario, about Mario. And then it sort of evolved into sort of a Shrek before Shrek kind of movie. And it would have taken place in the Mushroom Kingdom. So then two directors, I forget who directed this.
It's directed by a husband and wife duo, if I'm remembering correctly. Their names are Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton.
Well,
Yes.
at one point, these two must have changed up something because it sort of feels like they took something that could have been fun, kind of solid or whatever, and then turned it into whatever the fuck happened. And even like behind the scenes, nobody liked them at all. So they made shirts, like just sort of making fun of them during the production as it went on. And to me, that's sort of where this type of movie goes. The more I talk about it, the more I'm just thinking about the behind the scenes than I am the movie, because the movie is so bland
Yeah.
that it just doesn't really give anything except some memes. There's definitely like people did what they could, and you could tell that there's some hard work in here somewhere. But
Yeah. The thing is, the directing is so bad in this movie. When I watch most Hollywood movies that I dislike, I usually have problems with the plot being too meta or being too predictable or something or another. But I usually don't have any problems with the directing. Like, usually the directors in Hollywood listen to their DPs, they listen to what their editors need, they're part of a collaborative team, and they're at the top of their game. That's why they're directing Hollywood pictures. So I'm usually not watching a movie and think to myself, oh, this direction is bad. When Ian and I were watching this movie, there were so many times when Ian and I looked at each other and said, they needed a close-up there. Like, there is a total lack of close-ups in this movie. It's so weird. They got Lance Henriksen, who was a pretty...
he was a character
I
actor.
wouldn't call him a star, but he was a pretty big actor in the 90s. And so he was a very lauded character actor. He was in like every James Cameron movie and so on and so forth. And so he finally transforms from the big fungus into the king of the city. And the transformation is all in a wide shot, and they don't even get a close-up of Lance Henriksen. You don't even know it's him. And it's like, dude, you could have literally gotten anyone to just stand in as the fungus who transforms into a king if you're doing it all in a wide shot.
Yeah, anyway, we're out of time. Let's give our ratings.
All right.
I'll go first. I'm gonna give it a 1.5 out of 5. Because it's got some good memes, and I like Bob Hoskins. I like the dinosaur song. Ooh, aka laka laka ooh.
That
I like
gets stuck in my
that.
head.
It's got some good memes. It's definitely a movie, but it's not that it's a bad adaptation of the game for sure. But even if they just made it good but a bad adaptation, that would have been something, but it's just kind of like miserable nonsense. Ian, what's your rating?
1 out of 5. Again, some good memes, some good performances, some weird shit that I enjoyed, but I really don't feel this one. It's just something that, as a teenager, it was fun to get shit faced and watch it, and then really going through it sober, it was a trek.
Colin.
Yeah, I concur with Ian. This is a movie you simply cannot watch sober. And not in the Pink Floyd The Wall way, where like taking drugs will enhance your viewing of this film. It's just a terrible film that can only function for you if you're inebriated. I would give it a 1.5 stars because I love Yoshi. I really enjoy what Bob Hoskins brought to the table. I find it funny that he had a better Brooklyn accent than John Leguizamo, who's from the Bronx. But not only does it fail as an adaptation, a lot of people on Letterboxd are arguing that this movie shouldn't even be considered to be an adaptation because Mario's unadaptable.
Well, it's been proven wrong that it's actually pretty adaptable. Let's move along to the Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023.
Let's go.
Wahoo!
Wahoo!
Yahoo! All right, so Colin, you are the least familiar with Mario games, so I'm gonna make you explain what the movie's about.
Okay, I just want to make a minor correction. I do have some experience with the Mario games. I played and beat Super Mario Sunshine when I was in 3rd grade. Thank you very much.
Oh, I thought you weren't allowed to play video games.
Like, my mom had a friend who was getting rid of her GameCube and her Nintendo 64. And my mom looked at the games. She didn't think they were that violent. And so she allowed us to play the N64 games and the GameCube games.
Oh, you never mentioned this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I forgot about it. It's just something that was just like a gap in my memory, and I was talking to my sister about it, and she's like, "Oh, don't you remember the N64 and the GameCube that we had?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, I do." Yeah.
All right then.
Anyway, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is all about these two plumbers from Brooklyn who get sucked into another dimension. And they need to save this new dimension from annihilation from the dreaded Bowser.
Well, more importantly, Mario has to save Luigi.
Yes, Luigi gets captured.
That's the real plot. Everything else is sort of secondary.
Which I think that's a brilliant idea. Because, you know, traditionally, it's about saving Princess Peach, or Daisy, or whatever she's being called at the time, Toadstool, whatever. But normally it's about saving the princess, right? But here, this totally works as, like, he's entering this world for the first time. He doesn't know who Princess Peach is, you know?
Yeah.
And the 93 movie tries to solve this problem by putting Daisy in Brooklyn with them, and then Luigi fall in love with her. That's stupid, right?
Yeah.
And that was a big problem.
Because they still just met her. This works so much better for a first movie because Mario doesn't know Peach, but, you know, we know automatically he loves his brother. And also we get to see Luigi being a little scaredy cat, which everyone loves.
Yeah. Charlie Day, perfect choice for that, too.
Yeah, Charlie Day was like brilliant casting.
Honestly, I love all the casting in this movie except Seth Rogen.
That was pretty distracting.
Really? I thought that worked.
It was very distracting, and I don't like the energy that he brought to Donkey Kong. Like he was so petty. Like he was so eager to please his dad. I mean, has there ever been a game where Donkey Kong is eager to please Cranky Kong? I don't think so.
To my knowledge, no.
No, Cranky Kong is usually just like the annoying guy in the rocking chair.
I mean, they needed a thing to connect Mario and Donkey Kong together because both their fathers think they're failures.
Yes.
Which is such a weird thing for Mario, by the way.
It works, though, because you know what's funny? And I'm sure you guys know this by now, but the guy who voices Mario and Luigi's father is the guy who voices Mario in the video games.
Charles Martinet.
Charles Martinet, they got him in there.
It's
Yeah.
perfect. And he's also, the dude who's playing the arcade machine in the beginning,
Yeah.
too.
Giuseppe.
Yeah.
He's like an alternate universe Mario. It's so
I do want to go over what I don't like first, because I did really enjoy the movie. But
I got some bad things, yeah.
I think my biggest qualm is there wasn't enough Luigi. I get that, Mario has to go save him, but it's like we go maybe 15, 20 minutes without seeing him in certain bursts. And we're like, wait, why is Mario doing this again? To save the day or no? And then there's even times where he's like, oh, I'm here to save my brother.
Well, he's got to save his brother, and in the process, he also has to save the Mushroom Kingdom in order to get to his brother.
He's developed a crush on Peach,
But that's a problem.
I think a bigger problem is the pacing.
Yeah.
Because the movie needed like 15 more minutes to dedicate to character building.
It's really breakneck. It's like, we got a story to tell, let's go. And it's just like, slow down.
You guys have seen this before, let's go.
Yeah, like Mario just runs into Peach, and they're like instantly friends and kind of in love. And like... they're just Peach just immediately recruits Mario, no discussion about it. It's just well, not quite. There's the test.
Luigi doesn't have any anger towards Mario, which I'm surprised by.
Why would he?
Because Mario was the one who's like, let's go fix this plumbing problem. And they went down there and they got sucked into this other dimension. And then Luigi got kidnapped and tortured by Bowser. You know what I mean? Like, when I see my sibling
they're
again,
brothers. He can see past that. He knew he meant well, okay?
Yeah.
But nevertheless...
It wasn't his fault. It wasn't Mario's fault that he got,
It wasn't Mario's fault.
I think it would have been more powerful when Luigi saved Mario at the end if they had a conflict earlier on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, maybe. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, if they had a disagreement... and they had a break in the middle, and then they come back. Okay.
Maybe if he wasn't like sure about the whole plumbing thing.
But this movie doesn't have time for it. It's like a tight 90, and it's weird because usually I'm always thinking every movie needs to be shorter, but this one definitely needs to be longer.
I think I know why the movie was so short, though.
Why?
So the budget for this movie was $100 million, which is $15 million more than Illumination has ever spent on any of their films. The animation in this movie looks fantastic, as I'm sure you guys do agree.
It's perfect.
What I'm thinking is that I think they maxed out that 100, and they didn't have anything more that they could animate. And they're just like... and I think that's true, too, because in the final scene in Brooklyn, there are no people in the streets. Which really took me out of it.
Yeah, there are. What are you talking about? They run around Spike and like there's
the Sebastian Maniscalco and that's about it. And then some people.
Well, they're all inside the buildings. Well, then they all come out afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like
I think they kind of just like picked different set pieces and be like, we don't really need to do it because we're focusing on this.
I think it is just kind of a thing of like, this is a kid's movie. We don't want to raise the question of what do you call it when of like civilians being put in danger? We don't want to raise that question we don't want to raise the classic Man of Steel issue with Mario.
The Mario of Steel.
It would have been nice if the streets were crowded, Bowser came in, and then they all fled. You know what I mean? Like, the streets were just completely empty, and it's only around dinner time in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like, it's New York City. There's people on the streets all the time.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I mean, look, that's a very busy set piece, though, with all the enemies. I didn't really even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that ending multiple times now because I work in a movie theater, and so I see that ending a lot before doing cleans. Yeah. But, like... I mean, that didn't bother me. I thought it was a satisfying set piece.
No, it was a great set piece. What I'm saying though is that I think one of the directors may have been like, shouldn't we put people in here? And then the other director looked at him and like, we don't have money in the budget. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the crowd that comes in after the fight is a pretty small crowd. It's like 15 people.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the animation in this movie is so good, and it's so. It must have consumed a lot of money. Like I said, like it's $15 million more than any other Illumination movie.
Illumination is like known for being really cost effective, while still treating their workers well. And you can, which is actually like kind of cool. Like, say what you want about the Minions movies, at least the animators were not treated like shit.
Oh yeah.
That's
But
true.
you know, like the but yeah, they cut corners because there's a reason why like the characters are so round and cute in their movies is because it's easy to animate. By the way, they're mostly French animators. Illumination. It's mostly a French studio, which I think is neat.
That describes the character design of Gru so much.
Yeah, right.
Gru is totally
the designs in
French.
Despicable Me
Yeah.
are incredibly French. Yeah, they're very French designs in Despicable Me. In fact, the Minions are inspired by Jacques Tati.
Really? How so?
Yes. Like, they're like, oh, we want to bring in the comedy stylings of Jacques Tati, the silent comedy styling of him to the
Interesting.
Minions,
Yeah.
just that vibe.
Okay,
But
cool.
anyway, Mario. Okay, my other gripe before we get into the good stuff is the needle drops suck so much.
Oh god, they were
Because
bad.
the score of the movie that Brian Tyler did is so good.
Yeah.
In the way it uses Koji Kondo's Mario and Nintendo themes. Because Mario music is like the best music ever, right? And I just want to hear Mario music, right? I don't want to hear Take On Me.
I was really confused
fucking
too
weird.
because like all the music that's playing in this movie is 80s, and then I see these characters on those smartphones, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
wait a second, so this doesn't take place in the 80s? Like it just kind of feels like
There's
a
a disconnect.
disconnect.
I think it's supposed to be like a desperate thing to get like the nostalgic parents' approval, but the nostalgic parents are already nostalgic for Mario.
Oh,
So just
yeah.
play Mario music. Just play the Mario music. And I bought MP3s as a score for myself because I liked it that much. And there are songs on it that were clearly intended to be used in the movie but weren't and were replaced with needle drops. So like I think the most egregious one is the Take On Me use during the Donkey Kong world with the carts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a track on the album called Driving Me Bananas,
Nice.
and it goes hard.
I gotta listen to this.
Which also, by the way, when they put in the DK rap, that was one of the funniest fucking things as a fan, just to hear in a big budget Super Mario Brothers movie, the DK rap when Donkey Kong shows up.
Did you hear that the guy that wrote that song wasn't credited?
Really? That's bullshit.
Yeah,
Well, that's not good.
in the credits it just says it's from Donkey Kong 64, and it doesn't mention the writer. I think it's like a union thing, but
Right, well.
no, he wasn't credited. But I'll give him credit. His name is
Yeah.
George Andreas.
Thank
You
you,
go.
George Andreas.
You
We
go,
appreciate
George.
your work.
Wait, my bad. It was George Andreas and Grant Kirkhope.
George Andreas and Grant, thank you.
George and Grant.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, the Mario music, the way it's put together and used is so good. Like they use like every song basically. It's great. Like the way
From
they
almost
use
every game.
the way they use like the Peach's Castle theme as the motif for them running towards the castle is great. The way when he first enters the Mushroom Kingdom, it like sounds like the 1-1 theme, but like through like Wizard of Oz kind of vibe.
No,
Like,
it's
that's
great.
That's amazing.
Hearing all the sound effects too, like when they're going through pipes and shit and whatnot, it
great.
was just like oh my god, it's there. Holy shit.
This movie kind of coasts entirely on Mario iconography because it's like, if you like Mario games, if you've ever played Mario game, you love that iconography. You love the question mark boxes. You love the fire flowers. You love all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's so great seeing it, and it's just nice, and it's fun to see it on the big screen. And I know that's really basic, but it gives the people what they want.
Yeah, it's something where it's like, you want a Mario movie, here's all the Mario shit.
Here's all the Mario. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is the thing though, is that like it does play it pretty safe. And like I think maybe like, if they gave it something more, like Peach, I think she's a girl boss now, but they still didn't give her any depth though. In the games she just gets kidnapped. In this, she's just super competent and great at everything.
Mhm.
She has no flaws in the movie at all. Like, they do nothing with. They even gave her a chance to, like, there's the moment where Mario, fails the course or almost succeeds the course and fails, and Peach is like, "Don't worry, it took me a long time to get it too." And then Mario's like, "You're lying, aren't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am." But like, what if she was telling the truth though?
Yeah,
Like, just to give some sort of some. I think this is the bad way. This is the wrong way to do female empowerment, because what are you telling to little girls if you're not flawless and amazing at everything, then you're not worth shit.
Exactly. This is my big problem with modern Hollywood's treatment of quote-unquote feminism. They choose to just have these absolutely perfect women who are great at everything and can outsmart any man. And so, like, on the surface, it seems perfectly feminist and great and stuff. But the fact of the matter is that, like, it doesn't set up good heroes for future generations who watch the movies.
There's no good role models.
Yeah.
Because, like, if Mario was competent the whole movie all the way through, it would be boring and not easy to engage with, and he wouldn't be very relatable at all, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I guess it's okay for Peach because she's a supporting character, and they don't have an Illumination time's ticking. They don't have a lot of time. I just wish they like changed that one moment where she's trying to cheer up Mario, and if she was like sincere that she, had to work to get to how cool
good
she
was
is now.
Yeah, that would have been nice. She's just like, nah, I'm perfect. I did it on the first time.
Yeah, she's just instantly perfect. Yeah, that sucks. And I'm not one of those anti-woke bros or whatever. I just want, I just don't want lazy writing.
Yeah, I just want
some character development.
I just want 3-dimensional female characters. I'm all about women empowerment and stuff like that. I just want them to be 3-dimensional,
Yeah. Well, speaking of 3-dimensionality, what do you think of Mario's family?
What we saw them of 2 minutes.
But like also like the function that they have in the plot, specifically the dad. I think I think it is funny because it's like, wait, so are Mario and Luigi like 25?
I think so.
Know.
I think
I think they're like 25.
Yeah, because they're playing retro video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're in their 20s. They're still living with their parents.
Yeah, they made them millennials. They made Mario and Luigi millennials.
They're like old enough to have mustaches, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's kind of funny. But yeah, I was kind of thinking like, why does the dad think Mario and Luigi are a disappointment? Because I feel like them starting a plumbing business isn't that crazy of a dream. That's like if I started a plumbing business and went all out and went all the way through with it, I think my parents would be pretty proud of me.
Well, I think what Mario's dad is annoyed at Mario for is that basically they had stable jobs already. You know what I mean? They worked for Sebastian Maniscalco's character, and they were.
What did they do?
They were just plumbers for him. Like he had his own plumbing, the Wrecking Crew.
Oh, I know what that's a reference to. There's an obscure Mario game from the NES era called Wrecking Crew, where instead of plumbers, they're Wrecking Crew members. So maybe I don't think it's a plumbing business. I think they were Spike is a Wrecking Crew, like construction workers,
construction guys or whatever. But so anyway, they had a sustainable job with a pension that was all great and all, and basically Mario wants to go out and do his own thing, and he brought his brother with him, and I think Mario's father was just annoyed at him for losing the stability that he had in the Wrecking Crew and bringing his brother along with him.
I guess. It just needed like 5 more minutes to flesh it out.
Yeah.
Not even 5, like 2 minutes.
There's so much in this film that just could have used some more time. You know what I mean?
Good stuff. We didn't even talk about Jack Black yet.
Oh my god.
The best in the movie. I mean, he's got such a twist because I was thinking, like, what is he really going to be after? Is he just going to be after the Invincibility star and then, or, the superstar, and all of a sudden just be like, yeah, I'm going to rule the world. And all of a sudden he's just like, no, I'm going to go marry Princess Peach.
He wants a fairy tale wedding.
He's a simp. It's
I'm
Bowser's
like,
a
that's
simp.
fucking great. That's like the best twist in the whole thing.
No, but also it's like they pulled off the ridiculousness of Bowser as a character so well.
Yeah.
Because this is like so in line. Because like, you know, in Mario 64, like, was it like he just wants cake? It's that pettiness and like desperation and the ridiculousness of a big lizard wanting to marry a princess that like it's very self-aware about it, and like Jack Black plays it so sincerely.
Yeah.
With his full chest, like he does with every role. He never half-asses anything. Jack Black is born to play Bowser.
Yes.
Absolutely.
He wrote a whole song for Bowser that they let him put in the movie.
Which is eligible for an Oscar, I might add.
Yeah.
Which I think should get the Oscar.
It is an original song, yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dude, that Jack Black's performance in this is so great, and it's one of those moments where it actually works where a celebrity takes a voice actor's job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Well, I would argue that Jack Black is a voice actor through and through.
Yeah, of course.
I think the only actor in this movie that I was like, this could have been a professional voice actor, was probably Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. She doesn't have a particularly interesting voice.
Yeah.
And when I think of Anya Taylor-Joy, I think of her face. I think of her big eyes, her big fish eyes.
Hey, you
know?
You leave Anya's beautiful face out of this, Ross.
No, she's beautiful, but she has very fishy. She has like goldfish eyes.
She does.
They're cute. I like them. But you know, like
she works better as an actress than she does, you know, behind a voice.
yeah, they could have gotten like a professional voice actress to play Peach. They could have gotten, you know, like you know.
But also not just Anya Taylor-Joy, Seth Rogen too, right?
It's a choice. They wanted Donkey Kong to have a Seth Rogen vibe, I guess. Here's the thing: Seth Rogen at least has a distinct voice, you know, whereas Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't. By the way, like we haven't really talked about Chris Pratt yet.
Here we go.
Surprisingly, really good.
Yeah.
Good job. He did a really good job.
The trailers did him dirty.
Yes.
Those was like,
Yeah.
they picked some bad audio takes for the trailers. Yeah, like
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
that was like a first take of a line that's not in the movie, you know?
Yeah. No, it was funny how they got rid of they didn't even like put the lines in the movie. I feel like it's because they're like, wait, what if they actually say something, or people just go, ho, 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 that's it.
Yeah, no, but I think it is just like, well, no, animated movies especially are like weirdly edited. They'll take one voice track and take that out of context, or use an unused track to give more context for the trailer. It's interesting, but yeah, no, Chris Pratt did a surprisingly good job, and I think people kind of sleep on Chris Pratt too much because of like, you know, there were like made up rumors about him being a homophobe because it was a rumor that he was in a church that's homophobic, and it turns out he wasn't in that. He left that church a long time ago, according to James Gunn, and like I think because he was also like overused a lot, like he's really boring in the Jurassic World movies, and he was in that like Amazon sci-fi movie. I think people just got sick of Chris Pratt, and so everyone got really pissed off to see him play Mario. But he's like, people forgot he's a good comedic actor. And I thought his Brooklyn accent was pretty good and charming, and I think he works as Mario. He seemed like a fun, charming Mario. I liked him.
No, he was good.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
I don't think Chris Pratt is slept on. I think he's just overhated. Like, people really just, for some reason, have this strong distaste towards Chris Pratt.
I think it's because Chris Pratt has been overused by the Hollywood system.
Yeah.
Because they thought, like, after Guardians of the Galaxy, they tried to push him as the next big action star, which really isn't the guy he is.
No,
he's a goofy guy.
He's more of a comedic guy.
He's perfect for this role. He is an earnest, blue-collar, working-class hero. That's who he is as Star-Lord. That's who he is as Mario. And I think
that's who he is as Emmett in the Lego movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Lego movie, but
he's the main character in the Lego movie.
Yeah, he plays Emmett.
I've been told great things about this Lego movie from a lot of people. It's
very good.
Is this a movie worth checking out?
Yes.
It's interesting. I think that Chris Martinet was brought onto this project.
Charles
Martinet.
I always confuse Chris and Charles, but I think he was brought onto this project because of Tara Strong, of all people.
Oh, interesting.
Because Tara Strong really sounded off on Twitter, as people do on Twitter, when the cast list for this movie was announced. and she was like, I'm sick and tired of these celebrities taking jobs from voice actors. This is a Mario movie, for God's sake.
No, that's not true, because when the announcement was first made of the cast list in that Nintendo Direct, Charles Martinet was mentioned at the end as like a surprise role.
Okay. So maybe she had no involvement in that.
No, she was more upset over just like the general need to have celebrities voice people. Like again, like I think like, you know, Tara Strong could have voiced Princess Peach
And she would have done
as
fucking
opposed
great.
to Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
She would have been, or who's the woman who voiced like Princess Bubblegum? That would have been a good Peach voice, you know?
Yeah.
I think like no one's going to see the Mario movie for Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. No, I don't think people are gonna go to the Mario movie for Chris Pratt. But you know what? I was proved wrong because his performance is good.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. I'm curious to see what his take on Garfield is.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
As a fan of underdogs, I want to tip my hat to Chris Pratt and say, even though no one believes in you, you did a good job in this movie. Thank you for your performance.
I think for me, as a lifelong Mario fan, and has played a majority, if not all, the games, I think he did fine. And I think that maybe if they develop him more as a character in the next ones, because obviously there's going to be sequels.
With Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoshi.
Dude.
But yeah, the whole movie worked for me. I mean, it is the game, but as a film, and it surprisingly worked. I mean, the power boxes. I love the mechanics of like how they get hit and then they like lose the power up, because like, okay, are they even going to do mushrooms? Like, how is this going to work? And when it's just like you have to eat the mushroom, and it's like, I hate mushrooms.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That's nice.
Yeah.
There was one thing about this movie that I really disliked. And
What was that?
This is a trend that Illumination has done in previous films too, is that they inject some like heavy nihilism and ruminations about mortality on one certain character. And then this one, it's Lumily, who's stuck in the prison and is constantly talking about the sweet release of death. I
thought that was funny.
No,
I thought that was funny.
no,
That was funny.
I mean, like, I'm told, like, kids.
It's funny because she's cute and dark. What don't you? You're overthinking this, bro.
goofy.
No. I'm fine with the sense of humor myself. I just think kids don't need to hear that. You know what I mean?
I've heard worse as a child.
I think kids like fucked up things. Fucked
Yeah.
up. They think that's funny. I don't know.
Look at me.
It says I don't think kids should be watching films with those characters who want to kill themselves. I think that's just too mature for them.
Then explain Eeyore from fucking Winnie the Pooh.
That's a good point. Wait.
Eeyore doesn't have a death wish.
Yeah,
Eeyore
but
is just
he always
sad.
is just like,
It's okay having
No,
sad characters, but like I don't want there to be characters who are talking about the sweet release of death in a movie targeted towards 4-year-olds.
All right, this is your good point for like any parents listening. If you have an issue with a little star person talking about the sweet release of death, you know.
yeah, and then all the screaming kids that are just gonna be like, I wanted to go see Super Mario Brothers.
But
Yeah, you're Italian.
It's a
you're
Mario,
Italian
bitch.
little kids who somehow do a really good Italian accent.
It's a me.
Because they're from Italy.
They're from Italy.
They're from Little Italy.
I mean, I guess like it's a solid movie. It's very colorful. It'll keep your kids occupied. And I guess the one thing is though, like it's not that deep. Like there have been better recent animated movies that are doing more emotionally and more thoughtful. You know, like there's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Into the Spider-Verse. Some most Pixar films have more to say. This doesn't have anything to say other than isn't Mario great and don't you want to play the games again? And it totally did make me want to play the games.
Yeah, I played Super Mario Brothers 3 afterwards.
Yeah. So anyway, wrapping that up, I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I would give it 3 out of 5. I hope for the sequel that they have a bigger budget, Not saying that 100 million isn't enough, but I would just like to see a longer movie, and I recognize that they would need more money for that. And this movie has the highest opening weekend of any animated movie ever. Like it.
I think this is set to possibly be the biggest fucking movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, like this movie has already made 4 times its budget.
Yeah,
It's already made
so
400
it'll make
million.
money.
So I hope that they
Definitely.
gave it like fucking 150 million next time, so that we can just have more beautifully animated scenes and more character development.
And for me, I'll say if you're a fan, you're gonna love it. If you're not, you might think it's okay. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5. It's a good start to a series. I think if they keep working on it and they don't like overdo themselves and make like a bunch of spin-offs or any of that kind of crap, you know.
Yeah, I just want I think we only need 3 Super Mario movies. And
Yeah,
then,
just a trilogy.
Yeah.
Just, same thing, just add a number at the end and be like the games. So hopefully we get some solid ones or even great ones in the future. So especially with Yoshi coming along, especially also in the Brooklyn realm and the regular reality. It's because also Mario and Luigi at the end, they're living in the Mushroom Kingdom, so we'll see how that works out. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5, and wahoo!
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 So, in solo watches, we talk about movies that we watched on our own and give them little mini reviews.
Yes.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I had a little bit of time this week to watch more movies than usual because I quit my job and I'm starting my new job in about a week from now. So I have just
congrats.
time. Thank you. So on Sunday night, I watched the original Jackass movie.
Nice.
Which is just pure Americana, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's just total slapstick humor. These men are just completely sacrificing their bodies for their art. Like it's really beautiful in a very simple way. Like it's so lowbrow that it's almost highbrow. And I appreciated the gags. I love how they went to Japan and their interactions with Japanese culture were really funny.
Jesus.
I loved seeing Steve-O as a little kid. I love all the gags that they have with animals. I think Jackass is really good because it just shows how inherently peaceful most animals are. Like when we think of bears and alligators, people have a natural tendency to see them as these bloodthirsty monsters that want to kill us. But Steve-O was slowly climbing a string right above the alligators, and they weren't even bothering him, man.
Yeah.
Like, they were just looking at him.
They're just like, look, who's this
Who's this
idiot?
guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
this dumbass.
They had
He's gonna drown.
Yeah.
Careful, dude.
Or in Jackass Forever, how they literally got that guy, like, chained, and they put a bear into the room, and he was terrified because he was covered in honey and salmon.
The bear just wants the salmon.
And so he just ate the salmon, and he went away. Like, these...
Yeah. But still, like, they're still scary. You don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss them off though. But anyway, what else did you watch?
I watched Drive for the first time since like 2015. That is a beautiful film.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It's a really good film. Like, it's solid, dude. You know, like, what I find interesting about that film is that Nicholas Winding Refn himself has autism. And I think Ryan Gosling's character in this movie has it as well. He had a lot of tendencies in his character. He was very quiet. He's
got the toothpicks.
He's got the toothpicks. Yeah.
He's always stimming with those toothpicks. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very meticulous with his details. He doesn't know how to interact with people that well. Like Ryan Gosling in this movie, I think has autism, and I think it's a really great portrayal of it. And the last film that I saw this week is Spider-Man 2.
Nice.
It is the greatest superhero movie ever made.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I could go on for an hour about Spider-Man 2, but
1 hour later.
So I watched a few things. First, I saw Air.
oh yeah, the new Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah, the new Ben Affleck, Matt Damon stars in it. Ben Affleck has a supporting role in it. It's about the guys who made the Air Jordan sneaker a thing. It was very good. If you like businessy movies like The Founder, this is a good one.
Oh, cool.
It's because I don't care at all about sports or sneakers, but this movie did the work to make me care and understand why this matters. It's just it's a really good movie for grown-ups, and I think people should see it. It's not amazing, but it's just a nice business movie about negotiations, and it's surprisingly entertaining.
Ross, would you say that movie's better than Ford vs. Ferrari?
I don't remember Ford v Ferrari very well. A movie that I'm more able to compare it to is I saw Tetris. I got an Apple TV Plus subscription to watch the Tetris movie. It's pretty fun. If you're at all familiar with the history of Tetris, it was like a big copyright nightmare because it was made in the Soviet Union. And like Taron Egerton plays the American guy who thinks he legally bought the rights to Tetris to distribute in America, but then he finds out he didn't, and he's trying to sell it to Nintendo for the Game Boy, and like it's a whole mess. And so he has to go to Soviet Russia to negotiate and figure out what's up. It's crazy because like they're communists. They don't know how to do contracts and negotiations. They don't know how to capitalism. Kind of has to help them out, even though he's terrified of them because he really respects the Russian guy that made it. And it's fun. It's a fun movie. My only problem with it is that they're a little too flashy with like they're throwing in like pixel art to be like, look, this is a thing about video games. Here's some pixel art stuff. They also casually get video game facts wrong. And also in the third act has a lot of dumb Hollywood bullshit. But everything up until the third act is true, and I think that's fun. Like, it's a cool, interesting story that has kind of an espionage-y feel, but not quite. And also, because I got the Apple TV Plus subscription, I decided to keep it because, one, it has Fraggle Rock on it. Good show. If you like Muppets, you'll like Fraggle Rock. It's, like, possibly the best thing Henson ever did. And I also watched on Apple TV Plus Beastie Boys Story, which is like a very nice documentary about the history of the Beastie Boys as told by the two surviving members, giving like a talk on stage with a slideshow, and it's pretty good. It's directed by Spike Jonze.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's Her isn't Spike Jonze's last movie so far. It's Beastie Boys Story, and it's pretty good. All right, Ian, your turn.
So I saw two things recently. No, three. So I'll go through. The first one was Stripes with Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. Some two down on their luck people. They in the 80s they go and they join the army to restructure their lives. It's one of those college comedy kind of movies you watch in a dorm room, but it's still pretty funny. It's not great, but it's still fun. Then I watched one of my favorites, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Nice. I
got the new Blu-ray, yeah, and I watched it with the new commentary, so that was really great. And that's 20 years old now, which is crazy. And then Raising Arizona, that was the other one too. I hadn't seen that since high school, so I was like, yeah, I might as well. I watched it. I thought it was a riot. I really love the lone biker from the apocalypse. It's just, that's my favorite character. He's great.
I should watch Raising Arizona.
Yeah,
I haven't
recommend.
seen it yet.
Oh, it's a beautiful film.
I mean,
It's
I
a
like the
beautiful
Coen
film.
brothers. I like Nicolas Cage. It seems like obvious that I should probably see that by now.
It's really fun.
What are we doing next week?
Oh, it's my pick. It's my pick next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I hope you can carve out some time in your schedule, fellas. Because
no.
I'm picking a Meaty Boy. And I don't want to hear any oh no's from you, Ian, because I watched the 3.5-hour director's cut of Watchmen. So you can tolerate this Scorsese masterpiece that happens to be a little long.
Okay, what is it?
We are watching Scorsese's Casino.
Okay.
Hooray.
It's
I haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah, me
so
neither.
I'm looking forward to it. So that'll be a week, 2 weeks from now, whatever.
We'll
We get these episodes done when we get them done.
Yeah.
We're busy guys. We're not full-time podcasters, people. We
have lives.
We don't only want to thank you guys, we also want to thank the people who have helped this podcast so far. Special thanks to Amanda Chiappada for creating the Stray Dog Media logo. It looks great. Special thanks to Ross's girlfriend, Christine Joy, for the logo for this podcast. Not the
Our little avatars, I guess.
avatars. It's not necessarily a logo, but it's our background. And she made us look like very charming, very handsome boys. Last but not least, our theme song. This goes to a very special guy of mine. His name is Alex Mendelson. He is my sister's boyfriend, and I love him like a brother. And he did a very good job on our theme song. So thank you very much, Alex. We love it.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and definitely comment. Once again, we want a discourse happening around this podcast. We want people talking about it. So if you can leave something in the comments, a point, if you will, that would be great. And we'll see you when we see you next for Casino.
See ya.
So take care, everyone.
Wahoo!
Bye-bye.